After waiting for so long, it is finally here. I got the Crimson King Requiem Carnotaurus from Rebor.
This was my most wanted figure of 2021. And knowing Rebor, they always make such fantastic figures. The whole reason I wanted to get this, well, there's actually two reasons. One, because Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, a channel who I've subscribed to, did a review of this about 7 months ago. I will put the link to his channel down in the description. And I bought this from Everything Dinosaur, like he recommended in his video, although, of course, like every other online service, because of COVID, it was severely delayed. I ordered this on the 28th of December. It was supposed to arrive in 4 to 14 days, but it came like a whole week later. But now it's finally here and in my possession, and I am so happy that it is here. The second reason why I wanted this so badly is because it is highly based off of the Carnotaurus scene in Disney's Dinosaur, which is my favorite Disney movie of all time.
Upon taking him out of the box, he's considerably heavier than my other models. I've never had a dinosaur of this quality or weight before.
The tail is a separate piece, of course, which just plugs into the back like this. It's a bit stiff, and I gotta be careful. It is a little bit colder today, and it came in the mail while it was cold, so that means I have to be careful, make sure nothing breaks. I'll actually just attach it together and come back. Okay, after fidgeting around for a while, I finally got the tail inside its body. Took a reasonable amount of force to get it in there. Don't know why. In Andy's Dinosaur Reviews video, it slid in there easily.
I came to realize that these horns are very sharp. You don't want to step on these. If you do, you might even puncture your feet.
But wow, this thing is just so big compared to all my others. I'll do a size comparison near the end of the video, but it perfectly captures the look of the Disney's Dinosaur version of Carnotaurus, and I love it.
Starting off, let's get a good look at the face. As I said, those horns on top of its head, man, those things are sharp. I especially love the paint detailing in the eyes. It gives it that menacing look of hunger. The mouth opens fairly easy, not too stiff. Let's get some of that roar action. Also, looking further at the mouth, those are really nice details. You can see all the individual ridges on its tongue, the muscles in the back of the throat, and the gloss finish on the teeth. Down its back, it has osteoderms. These are not spikes, although they appear to be. Scientists know for a fact that it had these and not feathers, because when it was discovered in 1984, not only did they find the bones, but there were indentations of its skin in the surrounding dirt. To this day, it's still one of the best preservations of dinosaur skin ever found. The osteoderms grow smaller as they travel down the ridge of the tail and stop altogether once it reaches the tip. Looking at the feet, you can see just how big and heavy they are. The arms on mine do not move. On some variants they are posable, but on mine they are not. On the back of its feet, like most theropods, it has a dew claw. I also like the posture of the figure and the pose that it's in. It's walking horizontal to the ground, like the real animal, not upright like the old misconception. You turn towards the camera, it looks like it's charging right at you.
For my first size comparison, I'm bringing in my only Carnotaurus that I had prior to the Rebor one, the Carnotaurus from Schleich. This is the official Schleich figure and not a knockoff. On Amazon, I see a lot of companies that rip off this mold, but this is the real deal here. But not only am I comparing their sizes, I'm comparing their accuracy. Because the Carnotaurus seen in the Disney movie isn't actually accurate to how the animal looked in real life. The Schleich figure is a better representation of that. In real life, Carnotaurus grew to about 10 to 12 feet tall, had arms smaller than that of T-Rex, and it had disproportionately long back legs for running up to speeds of about 15 miles per hour. It had a very slenderly built body and a blunt snout. Whereas in the Disney movie, it was beefed up to a size of 15 feet, the arms were extended, the snout was also extended, it's not as short, and the body is not slender, it is robust. The reason for this is because the writers originally wanted a T-Rex to be the antagonist of the movie, but they shied away from the idea when they realized just how common T-Rex is in dinosaur-related media. Jurassic Park already did it, The Land Before Time had already done it, heck, even King Kong had a T-Rex. So they changed it to Carnotaurus, which was a lesser-known animal at the time, but to keep it scary, they gave it the proportions of a T-Rex. It's almost like a Carno-T-Rex hybrid. The next figure I'm doing a size comparison with is one that Andy often uses in his videos, the good old Papo Jurassic Park T-Rex. Unfortunately for mine, a long time ago, the hand broke off its arm. They're pretty much the same size, but in order to get a better comparison, I'd have to have the running variant. I just have the standing variant. Next one is a bit of an older dinosaur toy, from 1988, mind you, It is made by both the Carnegie Museum and Safari. Safari is a toy company that is still around today. Upon further inspection, you can see that it's kind of battered up. Little pieces of the toes are missing. To make a long story short, my grandma's old dog was a chocolate lab. Her name was Kizzy. She passed away like maybe 10 or more years ago. She used to play with that as a chew toy. But it's still together today because of how solid it's built. It's even more solid than the Rebor Carnotaurus. There's no hollow bits in it at all. You hit someone in the back of the head with it, you'll probably knock them out. It's built like a brick. Just for fun, I brought out a little cheap Parasaurolophus toy to represent the Parasaurolophus you see in the very beginning of the movie that runs off into the forest, chasing after that little lizard. And then it looks up into the Carnotaurus' mouth, full with gleaming teeth. It runs out of the trees screaming, and behind it the Carnotaurus chasing it, roaring, and it causes a stampede, and then it hunts and mauls down a Pachyrhinosaurus.
For the final size comparison, here it is next to an iguanodon from an unnamed company. This iguanodon was made in 1999. I actually own two of these. They were some of the first dinosaur toys I ever got, although I never understood why that these are mislabeled as Scelidosaurus, which is a completely different animal. If you're watching this, Andy, if you have any information as to why this is mislabeled as Scelidosaurus, please let me know down in the comments. I don't have any other iguanodon toys of this scale, so I don't have one that could represent Aladar, the main protagonist of the movie. I think that PNSO's iguanodon does a great job of doing that. That's another dinosaur that Andy did a review of. Although mine kind of looks like Crone, he was another antagonist in the film. He was the stubborn leader of the herd. It warms my heart that toy companies out there are able to recreate things from one of my favorite childhood movies in a physical form. I'm not going to end the video just yet, though. I want to take some time to talk about trivia. First, let's talk about that roar that I love so much. Here's some bonus footage from the DVD showing Christopher Boyes, the sound producer for the film, describing how the roar was made.
Bo, my assistant, had gone to Florida. He ended up recording a lot of leopards, and this leopard really wanted to eat Bo, which was great because he was growling and snarling and sort of attacking him. Hopefully it won't scare people too much, but hopefully a little bit.
Well, I can certainly say from my experience that I was terrified of it as a kid, especially when I went to Disneyland for the first time when I was 4 years old. We had gone to see the dinosaur ride at Disney's Animal Kingdom. In the ride, you take a vehicle called the Time Rover back to the Cretaceous period right before the dinosaur's extinction to save an iguanodon and bring him back to the present day, all while being stalked by a ravenous Carnotaurus. And just like in the movie, this Carnotaurus was huge. It never spoke during the ride, but this funny video made by Disney shows what it'd be like if it could talk.
I'm gentle! You believe me, right?
Nope, I don't believe it at all. When that thing leapt out and roared at me at the end of the ride, I was so scared I kept my eyes shut until it was over. But now that I'm older, I want to go back to Disney and face my fears. There is one fear that I have faced, though. That was a bonus game on the DVD called Aladar's Adventure, a game that I really like and still play today. I'm so dedicated to playing it that I even made a map for memorization so I know what rooms not to enter.
It is in this room here where the Carnotaur attacks you. In Cave 1, you have to find your friends, Earl, Ema, and Baleen. In this cave, you find Earl, then go up here, you find Ema, and to find Baleen, you have to take the left. But if you take the path on the right, you'll be greeted with a nasty surprise. There'll be a Carnotaur waiting for you, and you'll have to start over. Now here's a demonstration of what I mean. As you can see, I'm in the room with Ema, and if I take the path on the right, I'm going to meet my death. Here it comes. Oh no! Ah!
And the last thing I want to cover is the running sequence scene in the very beginning. How that scene was made was with a device that the team referred to as the Dino Cam. It was a giant camera that they attached to a wire suspended 50 feet in the air. They sent the camera ziplining down the wire, panning across the shot, and then they added the footage of the dinosaurs into the film.
To make the dinosaurs seem even more real, the filmmakers developed a special camera called a Dino Cam, which simulated the point of view of a 50-foot dinosaur.
That concludes my review of the Crimson King Requiem Carnotaurus by Rebor. Overall, a fantastic figure. I can't get enough of this thing, and I'll definitely hold on to it for as long as I can. And if possible, use it to recreate scenes from the movie. I just need to get a better Iguanodon toy to represent Aladar. Well, thank you for watching.